Welcome back to another video. This week we're talking about, actually, before we get into it, how was your week? I mean, I had off this last week and a lot of developments with my job and everything. So some things are coming up, which, well, I don't want to talk about this a lot here, but the next episode of the Midnight Special, we're going to talk about hobbies and things we do outside of filming and Wise Works. So we're going to talk about that a little bit. So go watch that episode or listen to that episode because it's only audio.
But it won't be out until Friday.
Yeah.
So Friday night at 10 p.m. Eastern New York time.
Okay. So this episode we wanted to talk about photography. I would say...
Do you realize you asked me, how's your week been? And then you just kept talking and glossed right over
How's your week been?
It's been all right.
Let's go back to that.
It's been okay. It's actually been a pretty good week. Finally got my tax refund in.
You did?
Yes.
I know you're stressing out so much about that because I sat here for like an hour and a half before we recorded a podcast one week. Or more.
Trying to get a hold of someone.
Yeah.
And
then
I think
essentially
it was delayed
they didn't tell you
of,
anything.
Yeah, I think it was delayed because of COVID. But we got it, so that's good news.
That is exciting. I've had mine for about 3-4 months now, so I'll rub it in a little bit. But off that topic,
off how I'm doing.
Go back to photography because that's what we're going to talk about today. Do you think, did we do photography or, I guess we didn't do video work or video, like filmmaking before photography? Which one do you think came first for us? I mean, I wouldn't say we're strong with photography. We're decent, but that's not like, I like it more than you, so I do it more.
Me and you took the same course at the same school, and in that very first semester, we had to learn about photography. Out of a 3-semester program. And you definitely have an inclination of interest more towards photography. Well, I did it merely on principle because I knew if I understood photography well, I would understand video well.
Well, go back a little bit before that, before we went to school. We were just making short films, just playing around with friends with like a point and shoot digital camera. Our sister, though, she had like an actual like Nikon camera, and she got into photography.
Professional DSLR.
Yeah, DSLR camera. I don't think like us doing video stuff was different than her, so it didn't like spawn from each other. But I know growing up, she was into photography a little bit, so she would take photos of us just to use as models or friends, and that kind of, the photography aspect of it got us a little bit more into it than we did video.
Yeah, but for me, maybe that's for you. For me, I knew going into it I wasn't going to enjoy photography as much.
No, yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm saying video was like one aspect that we did. We played around with friends.
Yeah.
And then we had our sister that did photography. So we kind of did some things, just dabbled around because of her is what I was trying to say. I didn't say it very well.
Yeah. We definitely got introduced to the bigger, more professional cameras through our sister. She got into photography before we were into video.
Which we're going to talk about a little bit about some photos, and we can show a teeny bit of that.
Yep.
I know she's not going to like that if we show her work, but I mean, it's all public. You can go see it anyway, regardless if we show it or not. So
wait, what on this podcast we're showing her work?
I'm going to show a very select few of her work and then get into work that we've done.
Oh, I have one picture of me as like a bonus that I think the audience will like. I have 2 pictures of me that I didn't take, but something that's interesting because that she did take. One of them she took, and I'll tell you which one. But yeah, so we both have pictures that she took that we're going to show. Okay. All right, so let's start with you. Go ahead and open your phone. I have my computer. I'm definitely more professional than you.
Well, the first one, I was just scrolling through social media like Facebook, and I found this. It's like a pudgy version of me, and like you were getting into the stage where you're like losing your baby fat a little bit, so you're
Let me see
hitting
it.
the puberty, and
I know what this is.
You're dabbling with the hair. So this is the photo that I found. It's kind of a collage between the two of us.
So this is what our sister took.
Yes.
I thought we were primarily doing.
We are, but I just wanted to preface this right
Okay.
quick because look at that. I'm just saying, like, even though we're not taking the photos, we kind of like our sister was taking them, and they're not the best photos, but you can tell like how we're standing, how we're modeling. We're kind of, we think we have a little bit of photography aspect to it. That's what I was kind of drawing towards.
Well, we're looking at her picture, and the things that she was learning, she was relaying a lot of stuff to us.
Yeah.
And so, although that's pictures of us, and she took them, we were involved with the process because we were interested in how she took pictures.
Yeah.
Well, if you're going to start out by showing one of you, then I'll show you this one. That has a story behind that picture.
Yeah, I remember that night very well.
That is not anything professional, but look at that grain, man. Look at the grain in that picture.
The ISO is turned up a lot.
Way high.
Well, it's because we were in a dark room.
Yes. This was us really young with our friend Seth. It was a late evening, and we thought we would do a rough guy looking photo shoot. I have a freaking bandana on.
We did this because I don't think we had Facebook yet, but Seth had Facebook. Mm-hmm. And we wanted to like have this album on Seth's Facebook that was like friends or whatever it was, just having a good night sleepover. It's labeled like best night of cool Zaz or something like that. What is it labeled? Do you
don't remember, but Seth's probably screaming in his head. He has if you're friends with Seth Parrish on Facebook, you can probably go in his photos and find this album.
But
funny. There's that.
Please don't.
All right. But let me get into one that I actually took.
Yeah.
So pretty early on, we've talked about that Camp Maranatha, haven't we?
Yeah.
A few times in these podcasts. Well, it would happen once or twice a year that we would go, and I got my first Canon 7D. DSLR.
Yeah.
And so I wanted to practice taking pictures, and so this was one that actually wasn't too fuzzy, So this is one that I took of my friend Wyatt, who's on the podcast, on the Midnight Special, and his younger sister, Lydia. And this was at Camp Maranatha, and this is just me, a raw picture of me just practicing my ability to take a picture. As you can see, it still is a little bit fuzzy, especially in Lydia's face, but that's it. And also for those who listen to the podcast who don't know who Wyatt is, this is a young version of Wyatt.
He looks a lot different.
But that depth of field, I was getting there. I was getting close, and the white balance was pretty good. Yeah. It's not too crazy one color.
Now let me correct me if I'm wrong. This was the summer before you went to school. Is that right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. That's what I thought. Was. So, like, you got your camera that summer or before the summer so you can practice with it before you went to school in the fall.
I got it, like, in the spring or in the winter of that year. And I had it all the way up until the fall semester where I started class. That was during the summer. I took that picture during the summer of that same year. Actually, I took that picture, I believe, after we recorded that Alcatraz video we talked about on the podcast with the same camera.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is true.
All right, what's your picture that you took a picture of?
Okay.
Give us a little backstory, some information about it.
I don't have a lot of, like, portrait shots that I've taken over the years. I've done some, but not, like, a ton. Mm-hmm. So I don't have any from when I was going to school on me. Do you want from school? I can go find one, or I can kind of skip past it a little bit.
Just skip past it because you haven't prepared it.
Okay.
Early enough.
So I remember this was probably right when I got out of school or when I was in school, probably.
Mm-hmm.
I remember going, when you lived in Columbia, South Carolina, I went and spent some time with you, and you were going to work one day. I'm like, I've never been to a zoo. So I'm going to go to the zoo. Columbia has a great zoo.
Yeah.
It's only like, I think like $10 to get in for the day.
Mm-hmm.
And I took this photo of a lion because I was like, I never seen a lion before. So I took this photo of a lion.
Now that is a good picture. The color in it's really nice.
Yeah,
the contrast, the shadows.
I will preface this.
Good.
If you go to my Instagram, if you're following me on Instagram, this is on my Instagram right now. But at one point, this same photo was on my Instagram, not edited. Or edited.
Not enough.
Yeah. So
I remember it. Let me see that again.
So
that looks way better than the first one. I remember that picture.
Yeah,
Gosh. You've definitely gotten a lot better with editing.
I went and edited this photo more, and I deleted the old one and reposted this one. So I really like this photo. Mm-hmm. It's a lion. It's still in a zoo, but I wish we could go like on a safari or something with...
Get some wildlife photos.
Yeah. I know there's places you can go like in the United States.
You've already done kind of it.
Where you can get like... It's you just driving a car and people, like animals are in the field. You can take photos. We should do that sometime.
Okay.
I want to. Like, I need to get a better lens though. My lens is not great.
Maybe you got to use what you have till you become rich.
Okay. So I have this photo. This is portrait, I guess. You could take the portrait shot of the lion. Mm-hmm. And I really like it. It's decent.
Very good. How many photos do you have, by the way?
I have a good bit, but I'm just kind of going through as I feel comfortable.
My next one, I wanted to show...
I have that same one.
The next couple ones are not in any particular order because I don't have very good memory on when I was taking these, but I worked at this camp called the Wilds, and pretty much I met this guy there named Paul Fleury. We became pretty good friends while we worked together, but he was learning certain things with audio and with production. He was kind of the audio assistant during summer camp for the teenagers, about 10 weeks of stuff. And so he was there. I was there for the whole year, but he was there for just the summer. And so I got to hang out with him a bunch. We became pretty good friends. Right now, it's just kind of Instagram follows at this point because it's been a number of years. But this photo is two pictures combined because I really liked it. It was him in a dark room, and I said, I want to show you how to take a photo. And I tried to explain all the things you need to know about ISO, shutter speed, all of that. So... Before I click on this, the photo at the bottom is the one I took of him. And then I handed him the camera after explaining everything to him, after he said, I get it. And I said, now take a picture of me. And so I sat down where he was, and so the photo at the top is the one he took of me. And so look at this picture and see if you can figure out what he did wrong.
It's... way overexposed. The shutter speed's way too slow, so the shutter came open way too long.
That is the main culprit. He took the camera, he snapped it. It didn't stop. He thought that one little click was done, so he pointed at the floor, and so that texture you see is the carpet. And I'm like, funny. As soon as he pulled it to the floor, I'm like, yeah, I already screwed up, man. You know what I mean?
That's funny. It kind of looks like a Polaroid shot, though.
Yeah, it kind of does. But I just thought, this is really funny, and it has a good story behind it. So I made this little 2-picture collage and brought it to you on the podcast.
Yeah.
All right, what's your next picture?
I have another one that I wanted to show, but I'm going to spare it for your sake, because you probably know which one I'm talking about.
Nope.
You don't?
No,
okay. Well,
you've taken all kinds of pictures.
I'm going to spare that one for a different time, another time. But we went to, me and my sister, Carissa, that we talked about earlier, we went to this place one day. I had a couple days off, and I'm like, I want to go hiking. I want to take some photos. There's this place close to Columbia, South Carolina, where you live, that we went with the Boy Scouts. We used to go camping there a lot, but they have a good hiking trail. Congaree Swamp.
Yeah.
So I went with her. They have what they call the Boardwalk. It's essentially just what you think it is, like boards for about
a wooden path.
Yeah, a wooden path with boards for about 2 miles long.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe a little bit more. And I had this idea. I think I had this idea where I wanted to not just take a picture of the boardwalk, but do like a little trick thing where I take a camera and look through the lens of the camera. So I took this photo.
Very nice. I like that one.
Mm-hmm.
Is that Clarissa's arm?
That is. You can
Gotcha.
tell. But
and that's her camera, I'm guessing.
That is her camera. She took one of this back, basically the same thing, but through my camera.
Gotcha.
It turned out a little better only because the viewfinder on my camera was better. My hand, I could hold it better. But essentially, it was my idea. I was like, let's do this.
Gotcha.
And
That's cool.
We just kind of replicated each other's photos and saw which one was better. So that was one that I took, and I really liked. It was a good experience, but it also shows like you looking through the lens of a camera.
All right. If you want to, let's move it along a little faster. I'm going to show 2 pictures because they are around the same time. One of the younger version of my wife. This was around.
Is she gonna like this?
She'd be fine. Yeah, it's a cute picture.
She probably wouldn't be listening.
So I went and did a photo shoot with her. This was like 5 years ago or something. I don't even know when this was. It was a while ago, but I took a picture of her at a pond, and so as you can see, I was shooting outside. I put the light kind of off to the side and behind her, so she has a nice soft light on her body, looking at the camera, and there's good depth of field. That's a raw picture. That is not edited.
Where is that photo taken? I'm just curious.
I believe that is taken close to that in Lake Wiley, close to like Rivergate, I believe it's what it's called.
Okay.
But it was just a park. All right, and then I'll show you another one that I took of Seth when he graduated high school.
Was this around like the same time?
It was close. It's around the same time. And so this is our friend Seth. We've talked about him a number of times.
It's got good depth of field, but is that edited at all?
This one is edited. This one was edited in Photoshop, not Lightroom.
Yeah.
So there's not as many. There's good functions in Photoshop, but this was my beginning stages. I knew how to color correct video and everything, but this is when I started taking a few more photos and was learning how to color correct photos, which is pretty similar, but at the same time it's a little different. Like you handle it a little bit differently than video.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a picture of my friend Seth at his high school graduation photo shoot, because I was doing it as a favor. So those were 2 at around the same time. As you can see, they're pretty similar in style. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean?
So are we going back to me?
Yep.
Okay. I have one exclusively pulled up, but I kind of have a collage of these photos that I took. There was 3 that I posted.
Okay.
These are more recent photos, but it's something that I really liked. So I wanted to take. I have this pocket watch that was. I want to say it's my dad's pocket watch originally.
Mm-hmm.
Somehow my dad ended up with it, and
are you sure? I thought you bought this pocket watch.
No, not this one. And then I think I ended up with it, or it could have just been my dad's pocket watch, and somehow I ended up with it.
You're all the way to recent.
Yes.
I still have one more picture before I show a recent.
Okay, go for your photo then. We're gonna come back to me.
All right, we'll show off our recent skills. So this was a few years ago. This was when we did live in Columbia, South Carolina. I was not married yet. Another one of my wife, and this one is edited. It's a little bit too.
Wait, is
edited.
that Kenzie?
That is Kenzie.
That's when she had look like Kenzie.
Short hair, glasses, but this was in like an old mall.
How come I've never seen this photo before?
Because I never posted it.
It's a good one. Tell Kenzie to post it.
Well, this was in an old mall, and there was this cool structure, a lot of stone, and it
I
was
really
being
like
used for a
that.
few places, but it was just a little section. As you can see kind of at the bottom, you can see like lights and stuff. It kind of looks like she's outside in Italy or something, but
Yeah, how
but
come I've never seen this? It's such
I
a
just
good
never
photo.
I never posted these photos. I
I
just
think
kind
that's
of took them.
better than things I've seen today. I really like that photo.
I don't know.
I like that photo a lot.
It's a good picture, but it's not. I wouldn't consider it my best. There's things about it I don't like, but that was a few years ago, probably about 3 years ago or so.
I like it. I like it a lot.
All right, let's do a modern one for you. The watch.
Okay, yeah, we'll go back to the watch.
Yep.
Somehow I have this watch. It's not like a super nice watch, but it's a pocket watch. It has a story to it. It has the patina, as I like to say.
Yeah,
It's got
patina.
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 So I wanted to capture the patina on photo. So I just have this one pulled up exclusively, but there's a couple of them that I have.
Now, do you know what out of these I've already seen? You know I like that one that's slanted right there.
This one?
That's my favorite one because you got that real good depth of field going on. It's just hazy looking light and shadows in the background.
Yeah.
But you know what I like most about that other one and this one?
Mm-hmm.
The chain, man. The chain's texture just looks good in those photos.
Yeah.
I love the detail and the texture of that chain.
Yeah, I do too.
Is there any other modern photos, or are you wrapping it up?
I just kind of had this as a bonus one. I saved this one.
Gotcha.
It's like
playing cards with
the Joker in the middle.
Joker in the middle.
Showing your hand to say like I could be holding a Joker.
Which you are.
So that was one I have, and then I also have one that I can see from your photos. You also have
because I took it. I took it.
You took it.
You can't show this.
I'll let you go ahead and talk about it.
All right. So this is one of my most recent photos I took of Joshua. Actually, the first day we set up this new set during the season 4.
We need to get more photos of just me and you, just in general.
We don't need them. We have multiple videos being uploaded with our faces on every week. We don't need to constantly post our faces. But as you can see, it's Joshua with his mic, very similar to what you're seeing on video.
Yeah.
Mike with Joshua in his hat, and he has a white shirt on with his bracelet, and it was just cool. I like the wide shot. I like that the focus is on the shore. The shore, if you haven't noticed, you probably can't see this on the video very well, but the shore's logo is upside down, and a lot of podcasts have it upside down because they want the cord coming up here instead of it being all jumbled up, sticking out at the bottom because there's excess cord. So most people just put it upside down.
Known for like having a kind of a stand that's like this,
comes
hanging
down
rather than
That's true.
on a stand up.
But just to try to fix that, at least in this picture, I put it in Photoshop and I flipped the shore around just so the
really
picture
good
doesn't
photo.
look weird. And that's all I did. That was a modern photo I took actually with Joshua's camera and just edited on Lightroom. And I like the way it looks. So that's one of my more recent photos.
Yeah.
Was that it?
Yeah, that's it for me.
All right, so all around, do you really enjoy photography? How much do you enjoy it in comparison to doing video?
I like it. I feel like I get more of. I take the photo, I edit it, and there's something to post a lot quicker, so I get more out of it. For me, it's hard for me to just like go out and take a photo and do like a shoot because I don't have time. I feel like I know that's an excuse, and it's just an excuse. I need to make time to do it more.
Yes,
but
it brings up a good topic that we should talk about at some point.
I do. I feel like lately I've been really inspired by a YouTuber who we both watch, Peter McKinnon. He has, it's not secret because you can find it, but he has like a secret Instagram. It's called Pete's Pirate Life.
Yes.
And it has a lot of
beautiful photos.
A lot of more like product shots rather than like portrait. But
he sells unique little things.
Yeah.
Like dice and pens and medallions. Glasses, I believe.
Yeah. So I really like his photography and his Instagram, Pete's Pirate Life. That's kind of an inspiration that I've had recently. It has a very dark feel to it.
Very saturated.
That I really like.
Contrasted.
Yeah. I like that look.
Similar to this one, you know, if this was, if instead of this being you, if it was like a product, it would have a similar vibe to it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I follow the same Instagram. I love seeing those pictures. I just, whenever I'm scrolling, I always scroll so quick through Instagram. When I see that he's posted something, I just stop and I look at it for like a minute, and then I end up going to the page because I want to see more stuff.
Yeah.
He's just such a skilled videographer and photographer, and so his stuff's just beautiful.
It is. So, what do you think of photography? Is there something that inspires you? Photography?
Yeah.
I know you're not into it as much. You like video work. Why is that?
I like the process of video, and there is an aspect, and I'm not trying to be cynical, but there is an aspect to it that video takes longer to learn to do well, because you have to edit, you have to know how to shoot, make sure everything's in focus. Photography cameras can be set up in a way to make someone who's not a professional look kind of professional, and a lot of people get played by that. Not only do I like the process of filming, editing, and, you know, well, directing and whatnot, but I like the fact that not everyone can do video. And if they try, they usually fail pretty bad. Something's going to be overexposed. Something's going to be edited weird. I like that it's a craft that I can hone in on. And photography is just I love consuming good quality photography, like Peter McKinnon's. But outside of that, I just do it kind of for fun. I don't ever look to shoot photography. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I enjoy it when it's done well. But for myself, it's not something I've dabbled in plenty of times, but it's not something I'm super interested in.
Well, to end this off, I guess, tell us what you think of our work. Critique it a little bit.
Yeah.
Are you good at
photos
taking? If there's any like pages that you think you would be interested in, if you know about Pete's Pirate Life and you see that type of photography, if you think there'd be something we're interested in, let us know about it. I mean, maybe we'll find something that's really cool. Maybe someone knows something that we don't.
Grungy, detailed textures, product photography, that kind of stuff gets me real excited.
Yeah.
So if you have anything that you know of or any Instagram pages, send them my way, because I would like that. Anyway, thank you guys so much for listening to this podcast. We really appreciate all of you who listened up to this point and tune in at least 1 time a week, 2 times a week, 3 times a week. Speaking of 3 times a week, we have a third podcast every single week.
The Midnight Special.
The Midnight Special.
On Friday night.
Friday nights, we have a podcast here on the channel. Tuesdays, Fridays, and then Fridays to kick off the weekend at 10 p.m. Audio only, exclusively on Spotify. We have the Midnight Special. We would love it to invite you guys over there and listen to those. Anyway, once again, thank you for watching. Subscribe, comment, like this video. We appreciate you guys interacting with us. All right. Cheers.